Welcome, listeners, to An Industry's Insight, the podcast where we're all about the interviewees who have been or are still in the music, publishing, marketing, film, advertising, managing business, and more. I'm your host, Thomas Grabuznik.
And I'm Dino Ciccarelli.
And let's get right into it. So we're just going to talk about more topics today.
Okay, so what we want to talk about was the upcoming live-action Disney movies. Before we actually go through what's coming up, wanted to get your what's your opinion on these movies?
So far they've been I feel like they're gonna ruin some of them when they remake them. They're gonna be like they're just gonna ruin it for us. But the ones so far.
Well, before you say that, why do you think they're gonna ruin it?
Because they change a few things, and just of the whole, as a kid watching a cartoon Disney movie was always awesome. Even to this day, when I watch like a Disney movie, cartoon ones, I always love watching them. Just like, but then like the real life, with like the CGI and all that stuff, it's gonna look, like obviously it's supposed to look fake. But it's gonna look fake. But as a cartoon, it's all fake. So you can't like point anything out.
I mean, I kind of disagree with that. I feel like doing these movies live action, it gives more opportunity to tell the story. I feel like, yeah, of course, like they use CGI to like show the animals or anything that's non-human. Which is understandable. Necessarily, I don't think it looks fake. I mean, of course, it's CGI, but like going through like how, let's say, like the Jungle Book looked, all that stuff looked really, really cool, and it looked real. It's not like it was like
oh yeah, the Jungle Book that's a good example to go against me, but like the Jungle Book was a good example of. It looked good. Like, the Jungle Book did look good.
Mm-hmm.
I just, can't remember. It's like, just, when I tried to watch it, I was like, eh.
I don't know. I feel like it's a cool new thing for, like, people who have grown up watching, like, the old school, like, Disney cartoons. And now it's, like, it's brought to like real life on camera. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking with the Disney movies being live action, they've been doing the live action movies for a while. Like originally there was the live action Jungle Book that was put out in the 90s. And then of course there were the 101 Dalmatians that was in 1996. It was a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it.
I always have mixed feelings about that one.
And why is that?
Just like the dogs weren't talking and everything. Like in the movies, all the dogs talk and everything. That's how and all the animals all talked and communicated with each other. And that they didn't. I mean, it's not like I don't hate it. I still liked it, but like it does nothing compared to the cartoon.
That's true, but I feel like the people who created and produced the Dalmatian movies, both 101 and 102 Dalmatians, I feel like they were going for more of a real feel, whereas in dogs don't talk. You know what I mean? I feel like that's like the direction they were going with that. But like the recent movies that have been coming out, like the Maleficent movie about Sleeping Beauty and all that stuff.
See, that I liked. I liked that movie a lot. I mean, then again, I didn't really watch Sleeping Beauty at all, like the cartoon. But like Maleficent is like, I do like that one.
Yeah, there is that. There's the Cinderella movie that they put out. It's just called Cinderella. It's not the Cinderella movie. The Jungle Book. Most recently, it was actually a little over a year ago, the Beauty and the Beast movie.
That was over a year ago?
Yeah, it was released in March 17th, 2017.
Wow.
And upcoming movies that are scheduled to be in live action. They're looking to do a Dumbo movie, Aladdin, the Lion King, which I honestly cannot wait for.
I have mixed feelings about that one.
And why is that?
Because I feel like either they're gonna make it really cool or it's gonna like kind of suck.
And why do you think that?
They're just not gonna get the way. They're not gonna just capture the story the way it was like for the cartoon. I don't know. I'm waiting until trailer to say anything.
And also, they're looking to do a Mulan movie. And I was actually pretty surprised by this one. I honestly thought it was fake because I saw the little trailer on Facebook about it. Was the Christopher Robin movie.
Nope.
Basically doing a live action Winnie the Pooh. What are your opinions on that?
Mixed feelings, but more on the I don't like this feeling.
So you just really don't like the live action Disney movies. It's coming to a conclusion.
Yes. No, because when I saw that trailer, it would have been cool if they left Pooh out. And when Pooh came in, like, it was just weird. It just gave me, like, an uncomfortable feeling.
Well, you also got to take it in the trailer. You have to see Christopher Robin as a grown man.
Yeah, I know.
And Winnie the Pooh is really just a stuffed animal. And if you have a stuffed animal for a while, it's not going to be your clean, fancy-looking Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't expecting it to be. But, like, when watching the trailer, I was like, okay, they're doing a movie off of him. That's really cool. But when they showed him, and I was like, when they showed Pooh, I was like, why? Like, I don't know. It's like this weird, uncomfortable feeling of seeing Pooh there.
I don't know.
I mean, I do gotta say the Beauty and the Beast movie was really good.
I didn't see that one yet, so
I mean, I like Emma Watson, so
she's a good actress.
yeah, she's very good.
So the next movies coming out that have release dates are Dumbo, which is coming out scheduled for March 29th, 2019. Aladdin is May 24th, 2019. The Lion King, July 19th, 2019. And Mulan is the only 2020 date where it's March 27th, 2020. Those all have scheduled release dates. Of course, there's the Alice in Wonderland movies that have been coming out. I think there's 2 or 3.
I think there's 2.
And Christopher Robin movie, Mary Poppins Returns. That one I was a little mad because they said it's a sequel to the original Mary Poppins with Julie Andrews, but Julie Andrews is not Mary Poppins. Like, I don't know.
They're going the route of probably can't get this actress, get someone else, or
well, then it's not a sequel.
Yeah,
I don't know. That, and there was the Pete's Dragon movie that came out a little while ago. I didn't see that one, but
so the next topic, talking about Pokemon, is on Sunday. Was it April? Was it 8th, 7th?
8th.
April 8th. They Nintendo introduced Zeraora, the new and final Pokemon of Gen 7. He's an electric type. Pretty decent stats. Has really cool moves. And his signature move is called Plasma Fist, which is a base 100 attack, 100 accuracy physical move, which is really cool. I was watching a YouTuber named A Drive talking about this, and he was saying, like, this is the end of Gen 7. I mean, we kind of all knew that because Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon came out. We definitely knew they were done, and they were talking about how they were bringing now Pokemon to the Switch. And because we all thought and pretty much knew that they were not going to make another Gen 7 game for the Switch. But speaking of the Switch, I know you're just getting into Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts about the Pokemon being on the Switch?
I guess it's a move in the right direction for Nintendo. Yeah, they've been putting out like the new 3DS, the new 2DS. But the Nintendo DS like line of consoles has been around for well over 10 years now. I feel like, is it sad that they're moving away from the DS? Yeah, because it's still kind of it's cool playing on the DS, and that even like the older games on the Game Boy, is fun playing. I don't know. I think it's just one of those things that you just gotta see how it is and then make a judgment.
I know what you mean about like how they've been the DS and the 2DS and all that for almost over 10 years, I think now.
Mm-hmm.
But you think about it, so was the Game Boy. That
That's
was
very
around
true.
for, I think that was 10 years. No, not even. Because do you know what year the DS came out?
The first Nintendo DS came out in 2004. So that's 14 years ago.
That wasn't even 10 years of Game Boy. For Pokemon. Because Pokemon came out in 1998. No, not 80. 96.
Yes, February 27th, 1996.
Yeah. So, not even 10 years of Game Boy before the DS came out.
That's very true. But
Like, Nintendo, I'm kind of glad they're doing this to the Switch because the graphics now in Gen 7 made... Because I have a 2DS, so my game is not that good. Like, the console. The 3DS, on the other hand, it's like better looking and everything on the 3DS. Only because the 2DS is smaller and everything.
yeah, it's a smaller screen.
Yeah.
The
So
2D
I've had
feature.
it where especially double battles where it lags.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a few minutes to like finally like, okay, this is what this needs to do, and like to realize what it has to do. Well, I've seen on the 3DS, it doesn't really do that as much. So with the Gen 7 games being more, I want to say better quality and everything, they're going to have to move to the Switch because on the Switch, the graphics are like freaking brilliant. They're so good. Mario Odyssey looks amazing. I haven't played it, but Zelda looked really, really cool.
And then you have games like WWE 2K18 that look horrendous.
But you guys you have Xbox
So?
and Mario ain't on that.
Yeah, because it's strictly from Nintendo. PlayStation has its own exclusive games. Xbox has its own exclusive games. There's no excuse. No excuse.
No excuse. I will say I'm pretty excited. What do you think? Do you think they're gonna release Gen 8 before this year ends?
Well, I'm not really in the loop with anything. I know you said that Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon came out the end of last year, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. How long has Gen 7 been around so far? When did Gen 7 start?
Gen 7 came out November, I think it was 17th of 2016. Sun and Moon came out. And then a year later, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon came out. So, that's what, 2 years? I feel like, because also, before that, Gen 6 was,
November 21st, 2014.
so that was 2 years of just Gen 6 by themselves and no new information about any new games.
I mean, maybe by the end of this year, but when is the new game supposed to be coming out for Switch?
The Pokemon game?
No,
Oh.
Sonic and Mario at the Olympic Games. Yes.
Well, they haven't announced anything. They don't, Because usually when they announce a game, they want to release the games on. They want to have the games be released around November, because it's their highest pay rate and everything. So they would have to release information earlier in the year. Excuse me, like when Gen 7 came out. We got information, I think it was like March or April of 2016. And they hyped up that whole thing. But so I think if they're gonna have it come out this year, they would have to like give us some information now, unless they're gonna be different and be like 2 months, like in September, and be like, oh yeah, there's new Pokemon games. This is some information. But then
I feel like that's not enough time for them to release information. If they're gonna talk about it in September for a November release, that's like not enough time in my opinion.
well, yeah, like to get the hype and everything, but like they could be done with the game, and it could be all, done and built and everything.
Does Pokemon do like announcements during like Comic-Con or any type of convention?
No, because they have these called Pokemon Direct, or no, not Pokemon, Nintendo Direct, where they introduce new stuff about the Switch or new games that are coming out. Which the past few directs we haven't heard any news about Pokemon. Sometimes Pokemon will have their own direct. I don't know,
I don't know.
but because they did this once before they released games like in the earlier of the year, and it was like their least bought games, because it was just those times, like, unless no one was getting them for like gifts and everything.
Gotcha.
But I also feel like how the Switch has been out for what, almost this 1 or 2 years.
I think 1 year. I'm not sure. A little over a year. March 2017.
Okay, so the Switch has been out for a good year.
And the first look of Nintendo Switch was in October of 2016. So.
Oh, that's right. Everyone thought that Gen 7 was going to be on the Switch, but it wasn't. And that's the other thing. A lot of people think. How about that? Do you think that Gen 8 is going to be on the Switch? Because a lot of people think that they're not going to do that.
I don't see why not. It's on a different console. It's not like it's not like they're gonna put out one more DS game.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think they're going to go right to the Switch. I think they're done, because they got X and Y, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. And here's another question. Because you know how they do remakes of the gens?
Yeah.
Do you think, that's another thing that everyone thinks, they think they're going to do a Gen 4 remake before Gen 8. Do you think they would do that for the Switch? That's what a lot more people believe, that it's going to be Gen 4 remakes for the Switch first.
I mean, I really don't know. What was the last remake that they put out?
Last remake was Gen 3, which was Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, were the last games of Gen 6 on the 3DS.
So it's a Gen 6 game, but it's a remake.
Yes. The Gen 6 game be made from Gen 3.
I don't know. I don't see why they would make a remake on the Switch just yet. I feel like they would put a game out first before they do a remake.
Like that's what I think. Looking back at all the games, every remake was done after the new gen, and these remakes were put into the new mechanics of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's always been one remake per new console. Like Game Boy Advance was Gen 1 remake, Fire Red and Leaf Green. Gen 2 remakes was on the DS, Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Gen 3 remakes on the 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like they're going to do Gen 8 and all their new mechanics and all that stuff, then do Gen 4 remakes, which I kind of hope they do. But I feel like if they do that, there's Gen 4 remakes are not going to come out for a decent amount of time. But also, compared to the two new Pokemon movies, the Pokemon movie that came out about a year ago, or almost a year ago, and the second one that's supposed to come out, I think, in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of, especially the first movie, there was a lot of hints of Gen 4 being remade.
Yeah.
Because they had Lucario and Piplup. Piplup being the starter of one of the water starter of Sinnoh, and Lucario, a famous fighting type from the Sinnoh region. These two very popular, really known Pokemon from Gen 4 in these movies. In this movie where they're in Kanto. That's and also the rival or the I guess quote unquote bad guy has this necklace, and it was like some symbol for the number 4. I forgot what the symbol was and everything. But that's what we all believe that Gen 4 is next. Like remade, that's what I think a lot of people are gonna think Gen 4 is gonna be remade first. I can see that because they also showed Incineroar in this Pokemon movie when they're in the Kanto region.
Okay.
They showed Incineroar. They showed Piplup and Lucario, who are Gen 4. Incineroar is Gen 7. And then they showed Marshadow, who's also was the new introduction of another Pokemon Gen 7.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I can see why a lot of people think Gen 4 is going to be next. 'Cause they threw a lot of like, oh, here's a lot of Gen 4 Pokemon
Yeah.
right here, trying to give us hints. But also, in this new Pokemon movie, so far from what I've seen, there hasn't been any Gen 4 Pokemon. It's based off, I think, the second Johto, the second gen. But they introduced the last Pokemon, like I mentioned before, Zeraora. They
Mhm.
introduced him in that movie,
Yeah.
which looks really cool. So I can't wait for that. But yeah, I think if Gen 8's coming out, they're gonna have to release something to us because there has been a lot of leaks of the starter Pokemon, which have all been fake. There's
Mhm.
been like multiple that people have taken and be like, and taken people's art from like Devon art or Pinterest and everything, and be like, oh guys, these are the new starters, blah blah or whatever. There's been a lot of those.
Yeah.
So I think if they're gonna release anything, they're gonna come out. They're gonna have to give us some information like the region where it's placed, the starters, and what your character looks like. All probably before summer. But if not, then they're doing this next year. They're gonna release some information
Mm-hmm.
next year. So, 'cause I feel like that also makes sense because then Gen 7 has their time to like do them and be Gen 7 and have all these new Pokemon and everything. But also feel like I feel like that's already died down already.
Yeah.
Gen 7, because like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, loved the game. Those were awesome games. But like a lot of YouTubers and everything that play Pokemon went through them already and played like different versions like Nuzlocke or Egglocks or Shiny Locks or whatever, and they're all done. So maybe with Zoro being back, they're gonna more Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon stuff is gonna happen.
I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting to see what they announce.
But I will be happy if, because it has to be on the Switch. I don't care what anyone says. It's going to be on the Switch. I don't see it not being on the Switch. But that's going to look really dope.
Yeah.
Being on the Switch.
Be able to play it on your TV.
That is going to be dope. The other thing I think of, they're definitely bringing back gyms.
What did they have in the last game?
They're called Island Challenges. It's where you went around and do these like challenge things and everything. Then you would fight a totem Pokemon. And you get a Z crystal because they made these new things with the Z moves and everything. Which I feel like they might continue the Z moves. Like you could get them. Not make them like, oh, you win them after doing this or whatever. They're going to do the same. I feel like they're going to do the same thing with those like they did with the Mega Evolutions. They'll be in the game, but either after or before the league at least. But I feel like they definitely are going to bring back gyms because in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, there was a gym in I forgot what city it was. It was in the on Ula Ula Island. The first city you go into, there they made a gym that you could go in and fight them. And they're all Cantonian trainers. Cantonian meaning Kanto. So you go in and you fight them, and when you beat the quote unquote gym leader, they give you this badge. So they introduced a gym. Didn't really mean anything. Just really another way to help level up. But I feel like they're gonna bring back gyms, which I kind of hope they do. Even though it's like, I don't say boring, but like they go through it's okay, 8 gyms, move on, 8 gyms, league, 8 gyms, league. I see why they switched it up. Made sense, especially with the islands and totems, because that was their chance because of Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel a lot of people want the gyms to be back. And I kind of agree.
I would think so. The gyms are, I mean, from what I've played, are really fun.
After playing it, like I loved the trials and everything. They were pretty cool. Some of them, there was one trial that was really not stupid, but like funny and everything. Stupidly funny. But after the trials, they were like, there weren't much of a challenge. It was just like a little thinking, and then you're done. While with gyms, you have battles where you either get your whole team swept or you can make it through. And they have these gym with the puzzles and everything, which are really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love playing the old games and going through all these puzzles. Some might be, you know, a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
But once you get through, it's pretty good.
That's good.
So, in conclusion, Gen 8 is next for the Switch if it comes out. If it's supposed to come out for this holiday season of 2018, they're going to release information about, like, soon. Maybe not right now, but, like, soon. And if not, then they're going for 2019 holiday season. So we won't get any information until next year, which I'll be okay with. But I also feel like the Switch is going to die down a little bit. Not a lot, because it's only been a year since it's been out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's still on hype. It's still on hype and everything. It's not going to be as hype and everything. But yeah.
All right, let's move on. This past weekend was a pretty big weekend for the wrestling community. This past weekend, WrestleMania weekend. So this past Friday, was of course the Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
That poor guy that gets thrown to the table.
Oh yeah, the Hall of Fame was pretty good. A bunch of people went in. From the names of the likes of Goldberg, the Dudley Boys, Jeff Jarrett, Hillbilly Jim, and more. And then Saturday night was a very entertaining night.
Very entertaining.
With NXT TakeOver New Orleans. I was very excited for this pay-per-view. I mean, I don't regularly watch NXT. I like to watch like the takeovers, and I casually watch here and there just to keep up on like what's going on, who's down in NXT. But once I like heard about the finalized match card, I was like, I know I have to watch this event. Well, with that being said, we'll move on to
WrestleMania.
So you got it. We'll briefly go through the pre-show matches. The Andre the Giant Battle Royal was won by the Woken Matt Hardy.
I'm so glad I got that right. And I knew it.
Well,
I saw one of the Hardys brothers in there, and I was like, which one? Is that Matt or Jeff? And you're like, Matt. I'm like, hey, Matt Hardy, done. He's got this.
Well, we had an event at the school. We did a WrestleMania viewing party for this year, and we had a prediction competition where we had a bunch of different scenarios, and you picked if you think it was going to happen or if it wasn't going to happen. Yeah, I was pushing for my boy Kurt Hawkins, but I was sadly mistaken.
So glad I voted for Matt.
So Matt Hardy wins the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal after a little help from Bray Wyatt.
That's who it was that came in.
Yes. And at first it was a little confusing because we all thought that Bray Wyatt was going to be in the match. Because the delay of the music was like really, really delayed. So like we weren't really sure like, is the match done and everything. And I think Matt Hardy was a little confused too because you could see the look on his face.
He was like, what?
They hit the music and he's like, okay, cool, wonderful.
Yeah, literally watching it, and when he came in, was it what was his name? Not Matt.
Jeff?
No, the guy that came in.
Oh, Bray Wyatt.
Yeah. When Bray came in, everyone was like, "Oh, he won."
Yeah.
Matt's done.
Yeah.
Matt's gonna lose, and I was like, "No." But they're glad to hear the ding ding, and like Matt won the match.
Yeah. The second match on the pre-show was Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali. The two of them were fighting for the vacant Cruiserweight Championship. This was another really great match. I was really sad that this match was on the pre-show and not on the main card. But they definitely showed that the Cruiserweights are not a division to be messed with.
Definitely.
They put together a really great match. A lot of high flying spots, a lot of really cool moves. And the result was Cedric Alexander finally winning the Cruiserweight Championship. And then finally, the last match on the pre-show was the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal.
That took a turn at the end.
Oh, it was a big turn. Because you know what? Everybody was like, it's either going to be Sasha Banks or Bayley who wins the match. And
especially since they were like the last two, basically.
Yeah, they were last two in the match. And it turns out that Naomi was never eliminated. She was just hanging outside.
Yeah, she went through the middle rope.
Yeah. So it was very specific that this match had to be over the top rope. So she wasn't eliminated. She comes back into the ring and the crowd's going crazy like, oh my God. Well, first off, everyone thought Bayley eliminated Sasha and people were going crazy. And then Naomi's like, no, I'm still here. Let me eliminate you. So Naomi wins the inaugural Women's Battle Royal at WrestleMania. So then the first match on the main WrestleMania card was the triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. It was The Miz versus Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins. Personally, I wanted Seth Rollins to win.
Same.
Which he did. I was very excited.
I always reading on the paper and everything. All I read was Miz and Seth Rollins. Didn't even read
Just went right past Finn Balor.
Yeah, I didn't really realize that was him.
Well,
he was in it.
I
still put Seth down anyways. It was like,
yeah, no, I really wanted Seth to win. Seth became a Grand Slam champion, which is basically when you hold all the active titles in the WWE. Basically, all the active titles to be Grand Slam champion is to hold the WWE Championship, the United States Championship, Intercontinental Championship, and the tag team titles. Now, of course, there's different brands. So it's Raw and SmackDown. And of course, there's the Universal title, which really isn't incorporated with it just yet, or we never know. It's always changing because originally the Grand Slam Championship, it was like the WWE Championship, Tag Team Championships, and I think the European Championship and the Intercontinental. So like they had different championships at the time, so they changed it. But yes, he's now a Grand Slam champion. It was a pretty good match. I liked how at the end it was Finn Balor hits the coup de grace on The Miz. And Seth comes in and curb stomps The Miz. And it's just called the stomp now.
Yeah.
and eventually pins the Miz and becomes champion. I thought it was a really good match. A lot of back and forth.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I'm glad that Seth won.
The second match on the Mania card was the SmackDown Women's Championship match. It was Asuka challenging Charlotte Flair for her title. Now Asuka was undefeated at the time, and of course they were in New Orleans, which seems like that is now the place where streaks go to die. We had originally the Undertaker's WrestleMania streak end in New Orleans in 2014. And the result of this women's match, we had Asuka tap out to the figure eight. After the match, we had Asuka congratulate Charlotte, telling the crowd that Charlotte was ready for her and that she was the bigger competitor and she was able to defeat her. So I thought it was a pretty good match. I was really happy that Charlotte won.
Same.
I picked Charlotte to defend the title. Yeah. And then,
that was a good match.
And then the next match on the card was the Fatal 4-Way for the United States Championship between the champion Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, Rusev, and Jinder Mahal. When in doubt,
Rusev, come on.
I never hindered the Jinder, so I predicted that Jinder Mahal was going to win the title. At the event, I was the only person to predict that he was going to win the title. And of course, Jinder Mahal hindered everybody and became the United States champion.
I mean, I gotta say, it wasn't Rusev, because I voted for him, but glad it was Jinder.
I'll tell you, nothing against Rusev. I really like Rusev. I like what he's been doing for the past couple of weeks, past couple of months. I like this whole Rusev Day. Yep. I like this whole Rusev Day thing that's going on right now. So him and Aiden English, they definitely got a lot of chemistry together. But I'm really glad that Jinder Mahal won. So it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen tonight on SmackDown. The next match after this is going to be the mixed tag team match between Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Hands down,
the best match.
Best match of the night.
Oh my God.
Even though it was pretty short, it was only 8 minutes long, but
it was a good 8 minutes.
It was a really great. It was a great match. I'll tell you, I was very happy to see that Ronda Rousey is really good in the ring. Of course, coming from the UFC, she's definitely
she knows how to mess people up.
Yeah, she knows that fighting aspect. But UFC and WWE, they're two different things, two different sports. Of course, there's wrestling in MMA.
They both use both like techniques, I guess you want to call it, in both sides, but one just is heavier on one side than the other.
Yeah, I feel like Ronda Rousey delivered when a lot of people didn't think she was going to.
Yeah.
Of course, the majority of the match, it was Kurt Angle and Triple H. There was a lot of shenanigans.
The good part of the beginning was.
Yeah. There's a part of the match where Kurt's about to tag in Ronda, but Stephanie pulls Ronda off the side,
head right into the side, right?
Yeah, and
she
took her out for a little bit, but
she hit her head a lot of times.
Yeah, and then it got to the point where Ronda was tagged in. She was ready to beat Stephanie McMahon, and she comes in, pulls Stephanie into the ring by her hair, and just starts wailing on her. Like, it was very, very entertaining. And as Ronda Rousey's about to pin Stephanie McMahon, you see Ronda get pulled out, and she gets pulled out really hard by Triple H, where she actually bounced on the ground. And how
about when it was she pinned and Triple H pulled the ref out?
Yes,
that was like, come on, really?
Yeah,
but no. Stephanie had she was doing a lot of shenanigans.
Yeah.
She was causing a lot of things, pushing Ronda and like messing with the ref and everything, like, doing all this other stuff. Like, not to be mean, but she kind of deserved what came to her at the end.
No, definitely. And then there was the part of the match where Triple H was telling the ref, like, listen, I'm going to fight Ronda. And
ref's like, no.
The ref's like, no. And then he pushed the ref into the corner. He's like, listen, I'm fighting her. He's like, okay, just don't hurt me. And then
clearly Triple H all tough and mighty.
The big bad Triple H. And then, of course, you unleash Ronda Rousey. And he's just like, no, stop hitting me. Stop hitting. Stop it. No.
Up against the corner, scared and everything, and just getting pummeled.
Oh, yeah.
That was the best thing ever.
And then it got to the point where Ronda Rousey is about to put her final submission, I'm assuming is the a cross arm bar, on Stephanie McMahon. And once she gets the lock in, it's just an instant tap out.
Well, see, she did it already. She tried. Okay, so Ronda tried it already on Stephanie, but Stephanie, locking your hands together prevents that from happening.
Yes.
That was the only way from Stephanie not getting that move put on her.
Yeah.
But at the end, Stephanie couldn't. Ronda used her shoulder. And broke the grip. It was the best thing to watch. It was like,
oh yeah,
you're done. You're done. Just let go.
Yep.
Literally, grip goes. Ronda looks at her, and you just saw in the face like, you're done.
Yeah.
All instant. Once she went onto her back, it was automatically.
Yeah, it was tap out. It was just like
not even like a second.
Yeah, it was an insane match. I enjoyed it. I'm really happy for Ronda Rousey. I'm glad she's in the WWE.
I was on my feet.
Yeah, I was actually looking on ESPN on their Facebook page. They posted something from an interview like right after, and she's like, I'm really glad I lost those 2 UFC fights because it's what brought me here, and she's having a good time. Granted that this was her first match. But I can't wait to see what they do next with her. Who her next opponent's going to be.
And how they get defeated.
Basically. I don't see them putting her straight into a title match per se.
I'm not even a wrestling fan. I could tell you that they probably won't do that.
I don't know. There's been times where that's happened. Where it's just like, oh, welcome back. Here's a world title shot or whatever like that. But I feel like she needs a couple more matches under her belt. She needs at least one good feud opportunity for her. It'll be pretty good for her. The next match on the card was the triple threat tag team match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. This match was a little bit of a sleeper. I feel like this one was a match just to calm the crowd down a little bit. It was the Usos defending their titles against the New Day and the Bludgeon Brothers. Or as my friend Terrence and I would say, the Bludgeon Brothers.
The Bludgeon Brothers.
We're brothers and we're bludgeon.
Everything.
This match, it was of course
they just swept them.
Yeah, it was a really short match. It was only a little bit over 5 minutes. We got new champions in the Bludgeon Brothers, the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. It's gonna be interesting what's gonna go on, what's gonna happen from now on SmackDown until the next pay-per-view, which is Backlash, which I believe is May 6th. So we still got a lot of time until the next pay-per-view. And then the next match was very, very disappointing, in my opinion, was The Undertaker versus John Cena. Earlier in the night, John Cena was in the crowd as a fan.
They showed him multiple times.
Yeah. And there was a referee that ran down to the ring after the Asuka and Charlotte match saying that The Undertaker was there. Is that what we assumed he said? John Cena hops over the barricade, runs to the back to change. And then as he comes out, he's told that The Undertaker's not there. So then John Cena gets a little mad, and the lights go.
Throw the ref.
Yeah, the lights go out, and everyone started going crazy because, of course, that's what happens when The Undertaker comes out. The lights go out. You hear that the gong and everything like that.
Then you hear.
But then you hear that
Bling.
signature guitar stroke by Elias, and the crowd went insane.
I just wish Elias did more of a fight. Put up more of a fight.
Yeah. But you could tell that like John Cena was really angry that he came out.
Yeah, I
and
guess.
if he was told that like his opponent was there, he accepted the challenge, and then like as he was ready to come out, yeah, he's not here, I would be kind of mad too. But as John Cena's heading up up the ramp towards the back, lights go out. You see smoke.
Then you see in the ring.
Yeah, and then you see in the ring, you see the folded up jacket, the hat, the everything.
The way the Undertaker,
the way he left it
it
last year, and it was like, oh my God, what's going on? And then you hear his music, and he comes out.
Everyone.
It was insane. Honestly, the Undertaker's entrance was probably longer than the match, which was definitely it was definitely a squash match. It was the match lasted 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
Annihilation.
Yeah, John Cena tried his best to get some offense in.
Best part of that match was when John Cena, I don't know what was he trying to do.
John Cena was about to do the 5-knuckle shuffle, and as he comes back from the ropes, the Undertaker sits up, and
John Cena instantly falls to his butt.
Yeah, he there was that. Undertaker hits a chokeslam, tombstone.
Done.
Match is done.
It was amazing.
It was insane, but I feel like it could have been put together a little bit better, in my opinion. But
I feel like they shouldn't give too much because like that's such the way of saying, oh, the Undertaker's back.
Yeah,
you know, they don't want to give you too much of him.
Yeah, no, I agree. Moving on, we got the tag team match between Daniel Bryan, the returning Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon, Kevin Owens, and versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. If Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn won, they'd be reinstated to SmackDown. Of course, they failed. Daniel Bryan was able to hit his finisher, the running knee on Sami Zayn, and then make him tap out to the yes lock. It's a very, very great ending to the match. Daniel Bryan is back in the WWE.
If I remembered who he was, I would have voted for him. I feel bad.
The next match we got Nia Jax challenging Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship. Defeated Alexa. It's a pretty good match. It was a little bit longer than I thought it would have been. I feel like Nia should have dominated the majority of the match, but she was able to seal the win and take the championship from Alexa Bliss. I was a little shocked there was no cash in from Carmella. But it was pretty good. I won't lie. Next match, we got AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE Championship. The first time that Nakamura and Styles met was in 2016 at Wrestle Kingdom in Japan, where Shinsuke Nakamura, I believe, retained the Intercontinental Championship from New Japan Pro Wrestling. So then they were hyping this match up as the big dream match. So I was very excited for this match, but I feel like it was a little slow.
It was.
I feel like they didn't get as much moves and stuff in as what they wanted. And then AJ Styles ends up winning the match, defending the title. But then Shinsuke Nakamura turns on AJ Styles, turns heel.
I still feel that hit.
Hits a low blow and
uppercut to the down.
Yeah.
To the downstairs.
So then he hits his finisher on the outside of the ring, the Kinshasa. It was a really good ending, but the match I feel like could have been a little bit better for the time that it lasted. It was a little over 20 minutes. The second to last match was the tag team title match from the Raw brand. It was the Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro defending the titles against Braun Strowman and a mystery tag team partner.
Okay, wasn't that the best, but it was the funniest.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think I've ever understand that, like wrestling being funny. That was funny.
Yeah, it was funny, but I feel like
disappointing at the same time.
I really wish that they had like someone come back and be his partner. What had happened was Braun Strowman comes out. He said he didn't have a partner, so he's gonna go into the crowd to find a partner. He pulls up this little 10-year-old kid named Nicholas, and he says that he's going to be his partner. And then little did we know that Braun Strowman and Nicholas would become the Raw Tag Team Champions.
How old is he?
10 years old. He's the youngest person ever to hold the WWE Championship.
He's like a Pokemon trainer. 10-year-old getting be in the league and be the Pokemon champion.
So that was funny, but I kind of wish that it was like a real wrestler coming back. And then, of course, the main event was Brock Lesnar defending the Universal Championship against Roman Reigns. This match was
bloody.
This match was very disappointing, in my opinion.
Yes, it was.
We knew since last year's WrestleMania this was going to be the main event. And they made it sound like it was going to be a huge, hard-hitting match and everything. Pretty much all that we saw was suplex, F5, suplex, Superman punch, Superman punch, Superman punch, Superman punch, Superman punch, spear, F5, suplex, spear, F5,
suplex.
pinfall, no pinfall, F5, near fall, F5, near fall. Brock Lesnar saying the F-bomb. And then
suplex was
when you throw the your opponent.
When they I just gotta say this, the flashbacks to like when Roman was handcuffed in from the ring when he wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And when he did the suplex, Roman's hair looked fucking, majestic. Sorry, just had to say it. I haven't gotten to say it, but looked majestic.
So at the end of the match, you see Brock Lesnar getting really mad at the fact that his finisher is not working on Roman Reigns. He takes his gloves off. He starts striking Roman Reigns, busts him wide open.
Whole hairline just ripped open.
It was insane. It was very gruesome. Roman Reigns is getting hyped up. He's about to hit another spear. Gets caught by Brock Lesnar. Hits the 6th F5 on Roman Reigns. Finally defeats Roman Reigns. Personally, I feel like Roman Reigns, it sounds so bad saying, because I'm not a big fan of Roman Reigns, but I feel like Roman Reigns should have won this match.
Yeah. I voted for him.
I feel like Brock Lesnar, as the Universal Champion, has been it hasn't been very good. And I feel like it's time that someone else should get the championship. But of course, with the speculation going around with his contract, we weren't really sure what was going to happen. But it was announced that Brock Lesnar did re-sign with the company, which this contract was very interesting because he signed a contract with the company, but now he's also allowed to get some UFC fights in there while he's employed as the employed by the WWE. So that's a little interesting as well to see how that's going to pan out. But that's WrestleMania. WrestleMania 34 is closed in the books, in the record books. How would you rate it?
I would say compared to last year's, that's the last one I really remember. I've seen ones before that. Don't remember them very well.
Yes.
But compared to last year's, close to a tie. I mean, they both had their, ups and downs, both of them. Mm-hmm. But I would say they're a tie in my book.
I feel like
they both had like really cool things with some like why this happened.
Yeah.
And everything.
No, I agree. I feel like this year was a little bit better than last year's. I would definitely rate this WrestleMania about an 8, maybe 8.5 at most.
Out of 10, probably.
Yes, out of 10.
A good 8, yeah.
I feel like there were a lot of great matches, and then of course there was like little things here and there that brought it down a little bit. But WrestleMania's in the books next year.
What I have to say is just NXT was better.
Yes.
NXT blew WrestleMania out of the water. The only compared to NXT, the only really good match was the Ronda Rousey match. It was like the only like one like compared highly to
I agree. Yeah, so we got to wait another year. Next year we got WrestleMania 35 culminating from MetLife Stadium here in New York, New Jersey area. So
Jersey.
that'll be interesting to that'd be great to be there. Hopefully, I'm looking to go. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun ride.
Yeah, I'll probably go if I have the money. So that's the end of the 7th episode of an Industries Inside podcast. Make sure to go follow us on Facebook and Instagram to get the updates. Also, don't forget to subscribe and like our YouTube page to listen to the podcast if you missed it. So until next time, I'm your host, Thomas Grabosnik,
And I'm Gino Ciccarelli.
and we'll talk to you guys later. Signing off.